Welcome everyone. Welcome to this week's healing meditation. This is for the week beginning 18th of April 2022. This meditation is designed to complement the angel message for this week. And so while it is designed to do this, it is perfect at any time in which this meditation finds you or you are called to this meditation. So the angel message is a message I channel from the Keepers of the Keys, which are a group of 12 healing angels from the Libraries of Light, of which the Akashic Records are one of these libraries. And so the angel message for this week was all about releasing blocks from our hearts so that we can go deeper into our heart center, which will help ground our minds and give us clarity. Now, the keepers were talking about in releasing all these blocks, it's releasing all the defenses, all the heartache, the heartbreak that we hold in our heart centers. Now, this is certainly better, easier said than done. And the keepers do acknowledge this. And I have to say, on a human level and on a personal level, this is a process that can take years. And I know personally of clients and friends who are going through the dark night of the soul at this time. And it is certainly a powerful time for people, even though it can be a very painful time. And so do not mistake that just because you're going through a dark night, it doesn't mean that you aren't going through powerful initiations, because you are. It is really hard to understand what is going on when you're going through the dark night of soul, because by definition there is that confusion, there isn't the clarity. And if you can think of it, and I know I spoke a little bit about my process in last week's video, but if you can understand all the darkness that you ever held within you, that was all the wounding, all the trauma, or the heartache, or the heartbreak, now coming out of you. And when you have gone to the core of your wounding, you've gone deep within, and it is now coming out. It is so deep and dark that as it's coming out, this darkness confuses you. It obscures your vision. You sometimes do not feel connected to the divine. You question your connection. You question your guidance. You question everything because there is no clarity. And what happens also, because the heartache that's coming out is so deeply painful, it hurts to be in your heart. And so what we often do, and this can be a pattern that we have learnt, we have can feel at times, and not just at times, many times throughout our lives, and like I said, there can be a whole pattern around this, that we don't feel safe to be in our hearts. And when we don't feel safe to be in our hearts, we don't feel safe to feel our emotions. And so then what we do is we go up into our energy, around into our minds. Now, our minds are designed to be integrated into our hearts, but when we are disconnected and we are only operating from our minds, our mind would try to think its way through when we need to feel our way through. It's trying to find a thinking solution to a feeling problem. And it cannot do this. It is why you will be stuck in a loop going round and round in your thoughts. And so we can see this in rumination, so those circulating minds that go anywhere, because the mind's job is to resolve problems. And some problems are irresolvable. And particularly when it's trauma or really difficult experiences that we are going through, we are designed to make meaning of these experiences, to resolve them. And so the mind is just operating at this level, trying to find meaning, but it cannot find meaning if it's not integrating to the heart. And this is, from a psychological perspective, and an equivalency of healing. So for us to resolve our trauma from psychological speak, we have to make meaning of our experiences. Now, to make meaning of our experiences, we cannot do this only with our minds. And so this is where we are stuck in this state of being unable to see the forest for the trees. We are deep within all that is being released from us. And this is not an easy process. It is not by I don't want to say by design, but by definition, given this, what kind of process it is not easy. It is where we need as much energetic support as we need human support and support of loved ones around us. And I know that if it wasn't for my partner supporting me, I could not have gone through my dark night. And for everyone, it's going to be different. You know, I had my unique challenges. Everyone's going to have their unique challenges. Sometimes it's not going to be your partner. It's going to be a friend or a therapist or a healer or a sibling or a parent or someone who is there for you. You just need one person who is unconditionally there for you, who can help you see this through. Now, when we can go through this process, as I said, it can be really difficult, but what it is, it's about going through our darkness to come back and return to the light. So the only way out is through. And when I was going through that process, I have to say, I don't know if anyone's familiar with the book or the song We're Going on a Bear Hunt, and I won't spare you with my voice, but it goes, you know, if parents would know, we're going on a bear we're going on a bear hunt, we're going to catch a big one, we're not scared. And then anyway, it goes on, and there's always an obstruction. It goes, we can't go over it, we can't go under it, can't go around it, we've got to go through it. And I used to say this to myself over and over again when I was going through the dark night or whatever it was I was going. I have to go through it. I just have to go through it. And it almost became a mantra. I just have to go through this. I can't go around it. I can't bypass it. I can't just bury it. I just have to go through it so that I can release it. So it's similar. That's a different way of thinking of things, but Joseph Campbell wrote about this process, and he says when we enter the cave, and you know, you can think of this in the mystical terms, it's a mystical cave, it's not a literal cave, but when we enter the cave expecting to meet the dragon, and we're there to slay the dragon, and I'm paraphrasing, we enter in thinking we're going to slay the dragon, but when we enter, we end up meeting ourselves. So this is our shadow, our darkness. It is all that we are needing to face in terms of our woundings. And he said that this is something that most people are afraid to do. It is really a path of, you can think of it as a spiritual warrior, you can think of it as having courage. And if you think of it from the true meaning of the word courage, and relating courage, the root of the word relates to heart. So we must have heart to deal with this. And you know, again, the heart is associated with the lion, because of Leo, and you can think of needing a lion's courage or a lion's heart to be able to move through this process. And so the crystal that came through for this week is Chrysocolla. And I personally love Chrysocolla. It is one of my favorite crystals. Now, this is a piece that is for my clients, in supporting my clients in coming on grids. And it is a fairly large piece for Chrysocolla. And it's a beautiful teal blue, some may say green. It's a copper-based mineral and usually grows with malachite, which is a green, and I'll show you an example. So this piece at this time is not for sale, but I'll show you a couple of pieces where the Chrysocolla is grown with more distinctly with the malachite. So you can see the lighter blue of the Chrysocolla on top, and then the green of the malachite on the sides and on the back. So you can see that there, and you can see that in this piece as well. This one's thinner, but also has that really soft blue. And what Chrysocolla does is it connects into our higher hearts. Now, I always think of it as a bridge between our heart and our throats, and the throat's all about expression. And even as I'm speaking, my throat is being activated, and there's been stuff to be cleared. And of course, malachite is a heart stone. And so as they usually grow together, it's very common to find these crystals, these minerals growing together. Now, because they are copper-based minerals, I don't recommend them cleansing in water. At most, I would use a soft damp cloth and only slightly damp. If it's raw, if you handle it, you need to wash your hands, because technically can be a toxin if ingested, and can be affected by water and damp. Now, so these ones I would either smudge, I use frankincense resin. I've spoken about the resins previously, and energy work, intention, and or pot plant, or resting it in the shade in your garden somewhere where you won't leave it and forget it, because crystals can go missing, birds can take them, it has happened. I have lost a wonderful piece that way, but anyway, that's a whole other story. Now, these are two other forms of Chrysocolla, and there are different ones as well. There are other Chrysocolla pseudomorphs, that basically Chrysocolla growing on another mineral. I'm not showing you those today because they don't quite match the energy of what's coming through. But these do, these forms of Chrysocolla, they're a deeper blue than the other ones. And compared to these as well. Now, these are for sale, and they vary between 30 and 60 depending on the size and the quality. So they're just an example of what I've got available. So when you can understand that it can bridge the heart and the throat, here we have Chrysocolla. It is wonderful as a heart stone. It does, as I said, does connect to the throat. It helps us with grief and healing and releasing grief. And we can also understand that the higher heart is also known as the cosmic heart chakra. So we can connect to the heart of the cosmos. And I will be, and I know what's coming through in terms of the meditation, in terms of one aspect, I know that we're going to go to the temple of our hearts. And we can understand that there are many, if you want to say, layers or chambers to the heart. And I use this, what comes through in my sessions is an analogy of using the temple of the heart. We have the outer chamber, the inner chamber, and then we have the inner sanctum, or the Holy of Holies, where our divine light is held. Now, so you can see that there are 3 there. So you can see you can go from green to pink, and then we go to the blue of Chrysocolla. And so that the higher heart, or the cosmic heart chakra, is connected to stones like Chrysocolla, Larimar, turquoise, and often some of these are connected to the throat because they do connect into that, although that goes into a deeper blue also. Now, Chrysocolla, certainly this piece, not all pieces, but certainly do fill it with this piece, and the higher heart, or the cosmic heart chakra, is connected to Archangel Zadkiel. Now, he's a lesser known archangel compared to Archangels Michael or Raphael. However, a beautiful, wonderful, loving angel. He is known as the Angel of Mercy. He's also, in terms of what his name is, his name means God is righteousness, or God is kindness. Righteousness can have an interesting connotation in our modern day language. So I think God is kindness is a more accurate term in terms of our modern day language. So when you think of kindness and empathy and compassion, he's that archangel, and he's also connected with the concept of forgiveness. Now, for me, if we would replace the word forgiveness with healing, or releasing with love. So it's not about forgiving the other person. We just need to release that person or that energy from our bodies and our energy fields. We can feel more comfortable with that even when we have experienced trauma. So I know from myself and from other people I've spoken to who have experienced trauma, we have not liked the word forgiveness, and we could do a whole talk on that actually, and I may do one day. But what we can feel more comfortable with is releasing. I release you. I release the past. I release the energy of the past. I release the energy of this person, this relationship, whatever it may be. So I throw that in there because while he's associated with forgiveness, forgiveness I think is a loaded term in terms of how it has been used, and it has almost been weaponized against victims of trauma. And it's not to say we are going into a victim consciousness when we actually acknowledge what we have gone through, because first we have to acknowledge it and have the awareness of it before we can move through it. It's when we bypass it that we can stay in the state of victimhood. We often have to claim it first before we move through it. So that's just a bit of a background in terms of what is coming through for the energy for this meditation. Now, I do want to say is that, you know, when we talk about the temple of the heart, for some people, I often see barriers around the temple, like walls, ramparts, you know, sometimes it's a fence, sometimes it's half up, half down. People are ambivalent about whether they're wanting to allow people in. Sometimes the doors to the temple are closed. One might be open, one might be closed. And so all of this just shows me how open they are to love. And it can be self-love, not just love for another, self-love, and as well, love for another, but also then moving into Christ consciousness. We can move into Christ consciousness when we are able to go into the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies, because that is where I feel that the higher heart, the cosmic heart chakra resides. And that is where we are tapping into that energy of Christ consciousness. And we've just moved through Easter and coming into Orthodox Easter this week. So it is really kind of a holy week in that sense, and really filled with the energy of that Christ consciousness. And so there's an energy around that too. So what I will do is I will call in the keepers of the keys, and we'll connect with the energy of Chrysocolla and Archangel Zadkiel. We are with you, dear ones. Vicky is just feeling some emotion as she feels the energy of what is coming through. The energy of Christ consciousness, of the Chrysocolla, and of Archangel Zadkiel. So we'll allow this emotion to settle within her before we can proceed. We thank you for being with us, for connecting with the energy of Chrysocolla, for connecting with this meditation, for connecting with your hearts and the temple of your hearts as we move in to this session, this healing, this meditation for you. And so we call in the higher selves of all who come to this meditation in the eternal moment of now. As we gather a symphony of light with Arya, Vicky's Divine Collective, and Araya, her higher self, together with the councils of light, the archangels and the angelic realms, Melchizedek and the order of Melchizedek, and the Christed beings of light, Father, Mother, God. As we connect into the great central source, the great central sun, the great white rose, as we bring this energy to you and through the temple of Blue Volcano. Through your bodies, activating through your throats. Allowing this to move through and breathe through your bodies. Connecting into the crystalline grids through the earth, through the lower chakras, and into the heart of Gaia. Filling the heart of Gaia as it returns and flows back up in an ever-continuing cycle and circulation of light, filling your body and expanding through your energy field. Through the upper chakras, and through the lower ones, throughout your energy field, and creating a sacred vessel and container for this session for you. As we connect with this Chrysocolla and the divine consciousness of the crystal, and send it to you and through you, surrounding and enfolding you and filling you up from the inside out, through your body, through your energy field, everywhere it needs to go. Connecting with Archangel Zadkiel as he connects with you according to your own free will choices. Allowing him to land together with you. And we shall say that if tears do flow at any time, see them as a release of the energies working for you. There is the benefit of tears, releasing stress, energy, and making you feel better afterwards, dear ones. So there is no shame in tears, only the release. Recognize the release. And so as we say this, we connect into the temple of your hearts, Let us say at this time we are standing in the forecourt of your temples. Some do have ramparts and defenses around. Some do not. Some have their doors closed. Some are wide open. Receive what you are ready to receive. What is in your best and highest good to receive at this time. So you may connect with this energy. To be able to release all that is blocking your heart, all that is keeping you in your heads, all that is blocking clarity and insights and breakthroughs. And for some, this is a process of being broken open. Some see it as a breakdown to break through. Some see this as a deep surrender. And for those who are ready, we venture into the outer chamber of the temple of your hearts. For some, this is as far as you may go. And that is perfectly fine, dear ones. Only allow that which is in your best and highest good and that which you're ready for. And receive this energy of mercy, of healing, of releasing with love, so that you are held with love, so you may forgive yourselves. And surrender any forgiveness, if you wish, to the divine. For ye need not do this, dear ones. You may ask us to release for you, forgive for you. Know that it is synonymous with your healing, and you cannot rush your healing. And for those who are ready, we venture deeper into the inner chamber of the temple of your hearts. Where there is more light, more love. Where here you begin to move deeper into the consciousness of love. You begin to see yourselves through the eyes of love. Begin to see others through the eyes of love. And begin to see your lives through the eyes of love. And for those who are ready, we clear from the ramparts, from the four courts, from within the chambers of the heart itself, the chambers of the temples, to release all that no longer serves you, all that is not of love, all that are barriers and blocks to the love that is yours. When you're ready to claim it. And Archangel Zadkiel and this whole symphony of light is here with you, dear ones. For those who are ready, we move into the inner sanctum of the temple of your hearts. Do not rush this process. Allow it to unfold as it needs to unfold in your best and highest good. And here you may meet your higher selves. Here you have your divine light, your divine flame burning. And we activate this flame. With Archangel Zadkiel, Chrysocolla, and the symphony of light. With the light of Christ consciousness. As we have Sananda come through, Sananda, the cosmic Christ, who some of you have known as Yeshua in his human life. And he stands with you too. As a reminder of his ascension. And know that you may also rise just as he did. Rise from the death of the old version of you, the death of your old life, the death of your traumas and your woundings, so you may rise once more into the light. Together with Archangel Zadkiel, Sananda, and the Symphony of Light. Allow yourselves a few moments to absorb this energy. To receive what you are ready to receive. To know that you may return to this meditation and receive more at each moment of readiness. Feel held by them, regardless of where you are within the temple of your hearts. Feel loved by them, seen by them, and connected with them. So you may truly know you are not alone. And for those who are ready, receive an activation from the Sacred Heart. Connecting directly into yours. As we allow this energy to dissipate, so you may return to your bodies. Let us anchor you through the Earth Star, through the base chakra, with the golden ray of light. And allow this to shower you through your bodies, through your energy fields, to anchor through the Earth Star, with Archangel Zadkiel and the light of Christ consciousness. So we eternally, forever and always, send you from our heart to yours much love. Wow, sorry, there was a lot of emotion in that. So if emotions have come up for you, allow them to release them. Allow the tears to wash them away. Feel the energy of what came through. I will be sitting in contemplation after I end this recording, and you may wish to do so. You may wish to ground, orient yourself to the room that you are in. Orient through your senses, what you can see, taste, touch, and hear. Drink lots of water. Be gentle with yourselves. Know that you are not alone. And if anyone wants to share or ask questions about what came through for you, or is requiring support afterwards, do not hesitate to contact me. I wish you all who are celebrating or have celebrated Easter, either this week past or this week coming, a happy Easter. If you're celebrating Passover or Ramadan, I want to send from my family to yours, again, much love and joyous tidings from my heart to yours.